Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wait, who are you again?
Mike,
That's not what it says on my sheet.
what does it say on your sheet?
I don't know, it's written in Japanese.
Oh, and with that, we're reviewing New Japan
Hooray! New Japan!
and some Impact Wrestling.
And some Impact Wrestling. And some AEW.
So this is that's just news. We're not so much reviewing AEW.
You would say that.
There isn't anything to review yet.
He's already Pearl Harboring AEW. Hateful person.
That's not true. You may be hearing some fans in the background because I got a new PC and it is installing stuff, and it's kind of loud.
I got a new beer mug, or new beer glass.
Oh, give it a blow.
It's too big. I can't. I'll send you a picture later. It literally will hold 2 full cans of beer. That
may or may not have been what she said.
Giggity. It is like the top of it's bigger than the palm of my hand. Well, actually, it's almost exactly the same. Yeah, it's pretty fucking big.
We're also getting a little bit of a warble on Byron's mic. It is probably entirely my fault.
It is entirely your fault.
I do have shit downloading.
He knew that we were going to do the podcast. He knew we were going to do the podcast, so he set up the loudest thing possible next to his microphone and started downloading shit.
In fairness, the plan was to pick up this PC on Monday, and
it's not even Monday yet.
Have everything done. No, like yesterday, you dummy.
Hurtful.
And have everything done. And the problem is that Canada Post, in its infinite wisdom, was late as fuck because they were supposed to have this delivered on Saturday.
They don't work on Saturdays.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be dropped off at the post office like Friday night and be available for pickup on Saturday, sort of deal.
I see.
Which would have been epic because I, can get my roommate to drive me over there. We could pick up the thing, and I don't have to walk it home. Whereas today, in the rain, I was fortunate enough that he was willing to do it in exchange for a free dinner.
In which you made him egg noodles, and that's it.
No, we had Popeye's chicken.
Popeye's chicken.
Daniel Cormier certified.
And sponsor of Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis is officially sponsored by Popeye's Chicken. He gets free Popeyes for life and money.
I feel like, in fairness, Derek Lewis got free Popeye's Chicken just by walking in and threatening to show off his balls.
My balls is hot, and so is your chicken.
All right, let's talk some Wrestle Kingdom. Of course, the biggest pro wrestling event of the year. Fuck WrestleMania.
Fuck WrestleMania.
We opened
Fuck the revival.
Fuck the revival.
That'll tie in later. Trust me.
That will. We opened up with a 6-man, never open weight 6-man championship #1 contenders title match. This was a gauntlet match.
Mm-hmm.
And we opened up with the team of the villain Marty Scurll, the pimp Yujiro Takahashi, and the hangman Adam Page. See, it's all there. And they came out with Chase Owens and Tokyo Lachini to face off against Finlay, Jeff Cobb, and Nagata, whose first name I am embarrassed to admit I am blanking on right now.
Yuji.
Which is stunning. Yuji Nagata. There we go. And Chase Owens, I thought he was going to join commentary, and that didn't end up being the case, which disappointed me a little bit.
But we did have a special guest commentator.
We did. Would you like to explain? Because you did all the homework on the special guest commentator. So I didn't want to steal your fire.
Oh no, we had the special guest commentator for the next day. But for this night, it was a guy named Chris Charlton. I had never heard of him. Apparently, he is employed. From what I can tell, he's employed by New Japan. He is a British guy. He's kind of a super nerd. He's I guess officially, unofficially, their historian. Maybe I don't know, but anyway, he knows a lot. He knows a lot about the history of stuff, and Don Callis definitely made fun of him at least twice, probably 3 times.
Oh, a number of times throughout the night. Chris would just kind of rattle off this is the insert number person to enter the Tokyo Dome. And Don Callis would poke him and be like, who was the 50th? And he had the answer.
Yeah. He said something about I can't remember. It's like, how did you get out of grade school to get here tonight or something like that? And I looked up a picture of him. He does look like he might be a child. He does look like he might be like 14.
True, but I'm fine with it. So we're not going to really break down spots in this match a tremendous amount because it's a gauntlet. So
yeah, there was a lot of spots. It was basically all spots.
I will bring up one spot here, and that was Hangman Page going for a shooting star press and coming up very short, and it was a shooting star headbutt.
I'm telling you, that's the new jam. The shooting, fuck the shooting star press. It's all high impact. There's gonna be like shooting star elbows, shooting star headbutt, shooting star leg drop.
I'm not sure I'm down with the shooting star headbutt. That seems like brain trauma waiting to happen. And then the first portion of the match ended when Finlay rolled up Yujiro Takahashi after Yujiro had a bit of a thing with the Hangman, and yeah, that was the pin, and that will play in later as well. To be honest, and
fucking Hangman.
Next team out was Hiroki Goto and the best friends of Trent Beretta and Chucky T. Again, Finlay strikes with the roll-up of Chucky T.
Finlay, 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 Finlay. I sent you a picture of my new beer glass. I can't really convey. You'll have to just imagine how big my hand is.
Okay. I'm vaguely aware of how big your hand is.
Yeah. So I enjoyed. What was the? Oh, and then might I add that Togi Makabe and Toru Yano are listed on the Wikipedia page under their old tag team name. That's how it's listed here, right here on this match.
This is good. The next team out was Minoru Suzuki and the Killer Elite Squad. They finally took out Finlay and company with a killer bomb. Mm-hmm. And then we had the final team. I have it here. Team Ultimate. Taguchi, Yano, Makabe. Yes!
It is officially listed on Wikipedia as the most violent players and Ryusuke Taguchi.
Indeed. It was, and they won. And they get a title shot after Yano rolled up the Bulldog Jr. And that's really all there was to this match. And also more tension between Chucky T and Beretta, which will probably lead to a singles feud. Spoiler.
I would imagine so. I also I enjoyed that everything in this match was a roll-up.
That's good. No, the Killer Bomb was not.
You might as well just roll them up after that.
Which, congratulations, Finlay is the only person to get eliminated by a finisher in this match.
Yeah, that's true. Spoiler alert, flash forward past New Year's Dash, and Finlay has beaten more men in 2 days than most people in WWE win all year.
Certainly more than Kurt Hawkins.
And Zack Ryder. And beat more people than Goldust, Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, Ty Dillinger, and there's got to be one more I can throw out there. Minimum one more. I can't think of anybody off the top. Anyway, he beat more people in 2 days than those guys combined.
I would throw Kalisto on there.
Kalisto. No, because he's in the Lucha House Party. He wins all the time.
Yeah, no, not lately.
Because they cheat.
Anyways, next up was our never openweight championship. Will Ospreay taking on Kota Ibushi, the champion. This was a hell of a match.
Fuck yeah.
This got New Japan feel all over it. It was stiff as shit. It was athletic. It was great. I would say it was at points it was a tad lacking in psychology, which is to a degree a criticism of Will Ospreay matches at kind of all times. But he makes up for it by literally being a guy who does shit that you don't see anywhere else.
Yeah, they kind of kicked off the card with a potential 5-star match, like, right away. Like, let's just kick it off at 11 and see what happens. It wasn't a bad choice.
Well, in fairness, this was a really stacked card. Like, I think, oddly, this card lacked, like, that one match that you were dying to see.
No, this was it.
Well, I mean, this was up to the hardcore fans, but I mean, like on a larger scale. Like, for example, last year we had, of course, Okada, Omega, Jericho, Naito. We didn't have a match of that level, but damn, top to bottom, whew, just awesome, just great.
Yeah, there wasn't anything on here I could point to. There wasn't a single match on here I could point to that I was like, meh. I mean, there was a couple of like parts of matches that I could point to that were kind of meh. Spoiler alert: it was during the Jay White match, but it wasn't. It wasn't Okada's fault.
I mean, I got faith in Okada. I was not as negative on the Jay White as you. We'll get there when we get there. But we'll talk about that, I think. We had the June. By the way, Ospreay winning with the Stormbreaker. He hit. Do we know if it's a shoot concussion or a kayfabe concussion, or it was supposed to be or was it supposed to be a kayfabe concussion that is an actual concussion for Ibushi?
Either way, it's the easiest sell job in the world. You just do nothing.
I think that it was supposed to be kayfabe because I think throughout the show we had the unfortunate process of closing the chapter on the Elite to a degree within New Japan, hopefully temporarily, and kind of writing them off a little bit. And I think that they probably wanted to give a reason for Ibushi not to be out there for the main event in Omega's corner. So I suspect that this was planned. Whether he did end up getting concussed or not, this may be a different story because he was a little wobbly at various points in the match, but we'll find out. And this is part of Will Ospreay's whole new shoot gimmick that people have been telling me that I'm going to shorten my career and my life with my style. Well, you're right, and I'm going to shorten yours.
Yeah, apparently the news is that he does have a concussion. He's going to take the next tour off. But that also might be bullshit because he might be signing with AEW, so that's just a way not to have him around.
I generally suspect that he will. Here's the thing: Kota Ibushi's always been this strong, independent wrestler. As in, really won't refuses whether it's Noah, New Japan, whatever, to sign a full contract. He was even in the WWE's Cruiserweight Classic. They wanted him to be a bigger fixture in that, but he wouldn't sign the contract. Good call. But he's been like strongly independent, so when you add that plus the AEW uncertainty, I think if you're New Japan, you're prepping for a worst case scenario that he's not going to be working for you on a regular basis at the least.
Other news on this news page is apparently Iizuka will be retiring as of the 21st of next month.
That makes sense. He's not been doing a lot lately.
It does make a lot of sense, but I'm still sad about it.
I'm still absolutely
Maniac, sad. God damn it.
Well, you know what? He can still come back and do a run-in or something, or just be a fucking maniac.
Yeah, but I mean,
doesn't have to wrestle.
We just don't have maniacs like that anymore. Like, what was the last great maniac was Necro Butcher. There's just no what other maniacs are there out there, like maniac wrestlers?
There have been other maniacs in CZW, but yeah, in terms of an international, recognizable to the wrestling fan base at large, you definitely got a point there.
Yeah, I mean, the closest thing to a maniac right now would be probably Ishii, and he's not. Like, he's just kind of a Vader style, like, kind of that'll be about the closest to the maniacal edge that he gets.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a shame. But he wasn't doing a tremendous amount of work anyway, so we'll see. Next, we had the junior tag team titles on the line. Desperado and Kanemaru defending against Roppongi 3K and the team of Bushi and Shingo. By the way, Bushi and Shingo, fucking great entrance. Amazing. Yeah. Spectacular.
I was watching some Wrestle Talk, their podcast about Wrestle Kingdom, and like, there's no way Shingo. First of all, Ollie Davis keeps calling him Shingo Takagai. Nobody else on the planet makes that mistake, so that was really weird. And two, they're making the joke about Shingo being the equivalent of Steve Buscemi in that movie. Like, good day, fellow juniors. So I looked it up and like, yeah, Shingo's like 220 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, he could theoretically cut to the junior limit,
Yeah,
but I mean, so could a lot of other guys.
yeah, like he clearly outweighs Yo. That says some stuff.
I think you mean Sho, because Yo's the lighter of the two.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, not to be racist, but yeah.
They look pretty different, man. You should be
I
able
just
to
can't remember which one's which. Show is officially listed at 205. So, I mean, but even looking at him side by side with Shingo's fucking a fucking brute.
Indeed. This was a pretty good match, although a pretty short one. I think it was only like 8 minutes long, which is
Not quite
bit
7.
weird. No, not quite 7. Oh, okay, even shorter than I was thinking it was. But it was fast paced, as these guys can, obviously go. Not a lot of action from the champs. Kind of ironically, this really felt like this was more Bushi and Shingo versus Roppongi than even really involving Desperado and Kanemaru.
Yeah, well, I think, and that might play into what people are theoretically going for. Suzuki-gun might turn into Saber-gun, if things kind of start going south, and then Saber's like, "What the fuck? We don't have any, our leadership's not holding up," and then he takes over because clearly he's the rising star, and then he goes after the old man, and then the old man has some sympathy with the crowd, so they start cheering him. Which he kind of deserves, I guess, in this part of his career.
Well, he's in his 50s, so yeah. I mean, having a face run would, probably not be a bad thing.
Yeah.
There's some natural sympathy there just from the age factor. Only thing weird about this match, and not bad, but weird, is there was a huge, brutal 2 count, which I did not actually write down the sequence of moves, which was a bit dumb on my part. But there was like a really, really big moment. Not a New Japan ending. Not that moment where I was let down. But it was just like, oh, big ending. Oh, that was pretty sweet. And then we just kind of got a last dragon on Shingo, or from Shingo on Sho to end it. It felt a little anticlimactic.
Yeah, there was a bunch of that this weekend. Which is like, okay, I can see why you finished it that way, but you probably needed to lead kind of tell the story slightly different to make it happen that way.
Mm-hmm. Plus, with the brutality of this match and the pacing, it just I don't know, like one kind of finisher and done is. And don't get me wrong, Last Dragon's a really good finisher for a junior, but it's just a bit weird. Anyways, your new champions are Bushi and Shingo. And this starts a trend for the remainder of the night. Spoiler of a bit of a crowning for LIJ.
Word.
Next up, we had ZSJ with Taka Michinoku versus Tomohiro Ishii for the Rev Pro Heavyweight title. I have heard people saying a lot of good things about this match, and I just don't really see it.
Yeah, it was fine. Like it was in terms of Zack Sabre Jr. on a scale of regular to that was pretty good. This falls into the kind of all right, kind of like that category. He didn't rest hold as much as he usually does. But he also didn't chain together stuff as much as it needed to be be really dynamic. I don't think that the visual representation of what he was doing to Ishii was enough to beat somebody who has the character or like the push, that kind of like, I don't know what to say, like gravitas of what Ishii brings to the table. And to finish it off, he tapped out Ishii. Yeah, it's a brand new submission, hooray, but it looks like every other fucking thing he does from the opening bell to the end. It doesn't look any different. So, I don't know why. And Ishii was also the guy who refused to lose by biting the fucking rope. Although I do think he did lose the rope biting match.
That was against Kenny Omega, though, in the finals for a fucking title.
Yeah, but you're talking about a guy who had like every single limb fucking tortured to death and then still found a way to get out of whatever, right? So yeah, congratulations, you got him in a weird double armbar thing, and you managed to hook an ankle over his ankle to hold onto his leg, but he still had a free leg, so I expected Ishii to go to the ropes. And he just kind of verbally submitted. That's not Ishii. That's not how you do that. You can't do that to somebody who you've pushed the way that they've pushed Ishii. That's not possible. You can't. It'd be like Goldberg, just like you put Goldberg in a random ankle lock and Goldberg's like, I quit, oh my god, oh no. Like, you can't do that. That's not how you book that.
It was a bit weird. Wasn't,
I understand why they did it, because they need to put over that brand new submission. Unfortunately, like I said,
and they really want to put the Red Pro title back on a British dude. So
yeah, that's fine. But I understand you need to sell this brand new submission. The problem is that submission, as previously stated, looks like every other fuck thing he does. It looks just like a seated octopus hold. Who fucking cares? Do something flat. Do a bridging something or other. Do a bow and arrow variant. That looks cool as fuck. That maybe I could see Ishii tapping out to. But Ishii verbally submitting? No, dog. Other than that, like, the match was fine. It's just the psychology of the end didn't do it.
Yeah. Then we had the tag team title match, Young Bucks versus Sanada and Evil versus Guerrillas of Destiny with Jado and Fale. Quick note at the start of this, not really digging the Guerrillas of Destiny Power Ranger theme stuff.
I don't.
Not really
I don't
behind
get it. Listen, looking back on it, it looks like they were supposed to be like Predator masks, but they dressed them up like really shitty 90s superhero like bodysuits, and Tamatonga's got long, lustrous, beautiful hair. Why wasn't that sort of made into a Predator-style hairdo? And, yeah, it didn't do the thing.
No,
I just
did not.
Just don't get it.
Tell you what was working, though, is the reverse Carl Anderson Jado. That works. So, the letdown of this match was that it wasn't very long. Kind of honestly like the other tag team match. Not a lot of time given. Not a lot of Young Bucks action, which it makes sense. They're going to All Elite. Presumably they'll be there dedicated, being that they are, of course, part of the administration of the promotion. Mm-hmm. And you probably don't want to do too much with your bump card on what is probably your last night, foreseeably,
for a while.
Yeah. And so it makes sense, but nonetheless is slightly a bit of a letdown. The good guy Tamatonga act is,
I love it,
really weird, but I did love him and Tongaloa not breaking the rules, but pulling or giving the rope to Evil to escape the submission hold.
A couple of different times they stopped each other from breaking the rules, because Tongaloa would go in and like Tamatonga's like, no, we're good guys. We don't do that.
We're kick-ass now. We're kick-ass. We're not the bad guys anymore.
And Tamatonga would like instinctively go to break a rule, and Tongaloa would shout at him from the court, like, no. But then, yeah, like in the end, they definitely cheated, but they didn't cheat for themselves, which was really weird and awesome psychologically. I thought that was hilarious.
They'd be helping the Bucks against LIJ and LIJ versus the Bucks.
Yeah, it was very good. I enjoyed all the psychology with this match. I disagree that I think the Young Bucks had a much bigger role in this match than I kind of expected, to be honest. I sort of thought that they just kind of submarine all the elite guys to give no shine. They have to have Omega be Omega, and they have to have Jericho be Jericho, but I wouldn't expect them really to be putting anybody else over. I thought the Young Bucks did a fantastic job with what they did and with the time allotted.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you consider the time and you consider the circumstances, not wanting to take any significant bumps, it makes absolute sense, and it was probably the best we had any reason to expect.
Mm-hmm.
But after you've been watching the Young Bucks absolutely rip the place down for a couple of years, it's a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why they gave all these multi-tag, like not even multi-man matches, but multi-tag matches. They really didn't give them any time. This one got 10 minutes 16 seconds. The three-way tag for the junior heavyweight got less than 7 minutes. The gauntlet match timed in at almost 28 minutes. But yeah, nothing really was given a ton of time.
Yeah, it's about developing the singles feuds more than anything else. Anyway, Sonata and Evil win the match with their version of the Magic Killer and a moonsault on Matt Jackson. So, congratulations, LIJ. You have both tag titles. You have the Tag League trophies. Could Naito, the only member of LIJ at this point with no gold, take the belt off of Mr. Chris Jericho?
Spoiler alert, no.
Then we ended up with Juice Robinson versus Cody Rhodes with Brandy. This was perfectly fine. I enjoyed Brandy's spear on Juice. The ground and pound was maybe a bit silly because it got her ejected. It was not a great moment. But even then, getting someone ejected at New Japan is exceedingly rare, so I'll take that. Cody is injured, so the match was a little bit slower pace, not as heavy, not as stiff as you probably want. And
I enjoyed the fact that his trunks were exactly Jacksonville Jaguars.
Indeed. And of course, he's an all-elite guy, so kind of the same thing that applies to the aforementioned Young Bucks applies here. Not necessarily wanting to take the heavy bumps on your bump card. And Cody loses the title to Juice Robinson, which I did definitely figure would happen. Because like an elite guy I could have seen keeping a title, maybe like Kota Ibushi keeping the nether open weight. But Cody Rhodes, much like the Young Bucks, like those three are not going to be in New Japan for a while. They're going to be busy running a wrestling promotion. So that's a pretty big deal. Also, I enjoy that I enjoy that Cody Rhodes finally has the title President in a job title, because you could tell he's been dying for that since he did the frickin' Bill Pullman Independence Day speech in the parking lot. Anyways, then we had the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title between the Bone Soldier Taiji Ishimori and champion Kushida. I enjoyed the Kushida bobblehead entrance. That was intriguing.
Especially when Callis was pumped that they just killed a child.
Indeed. So happy about that. And Doc Brown Taguchi in there as well is always nice.
It's good.
And for the match itself, it was not the best match Ishimori and Kushida have ever had, but it was pretty good. I did think it was a little bit... they really gave Kushida very little in this match. I went back and watched it again because I was listening to a podcast that kind of brought the idea up, answering the 10 count if anyone's interested, that Kushida got very little offense in, and I was like, not really remembering it that way, so I went back and rewatched the match and went, yeah, they're kind of right. Like, he would go for, like, one of his signature moves, and, like, Ishimori would just be kind of like, that is nothing. Here's mine. Bam! Actually, not terrible. Like, almost like a longer version of Kushida's match against Time Bomb way back when Time Bomb absolutely steamrolled him. Like, obviously not that drastic, not that
yeah, that
shocking.
Was a weird one. That was what was it, like 3 minutes flat or less than that?
It was less than that, I think. I was thinking it was like a minute, maybe 2 minutes. But
yeah, it was really strange.
So this was kind of like a longer version of that in a way, just like much less shocking because of that. In the end, Ishimori is your new champ, so get some gold on the Bullet Club once again. And Kushida, of course, we know is leaving New Japan at the end of his contract at the end of January, I do believe.
Yeah.
And the general thought is that he's probably heading to WWE.
I really hope that's not the case.
I hope not. Ishida did give an interview talking about how he's kind of done everything he can do in New Japan, which he's not wrong. He's been he's won everything a junior can do, and he's not the most believable guy to be a heavyweight. So
No, not right away. What I'd like is some sort of let's kayfabe it up a bit. So if what I would like in my perfect world is they've done this announcement, he's made this announcement, he's leaving New Japan, he's done everything a junior can do, and he takes however like an amount of time off, but he's still technically signed to New Japan, but it's kayfabed up that people don't know. And then he comes back and he's just fucking ripped, and he moves up to heavyweight and starts becoming like the new Tanahashi.
that would be intriguing, although Kushida is a bit older than generally you would think.
He's at least 24.
He's 35. And
he's at least 35.
That does make it a little bit difficult for him to be kind of launch into the heavyweight career and be kind of a big player in the future.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a theme, is that really New Japan is, and it comes down to why Jay White's being pushed so hard, I think, honestly, is that the amount of actually very young, reliable talent for them is kind of low, actually. Because if you look at this card, the number of dudes that are under the age of 30 are Hangman Page, who's leaving with the Elite guys. Then you have Finlay. Maybe Chase Owens. Is Chase Owens under 30?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but maybe. Like, I can't, an age is not coming to mind for him, so maybe? And then you basically have Jay White, Will Ospreay, Juice Robinson.
Oh, he is. Chase Owens, 28.
Okay, so Chase Owens. There's not a lot to work with there. There's not a lot of like guys to succeed the Tanahashis and the Okadas of the world. And you've got a massive talent dearth with the All Elite guys leaving. I hope that we see some young lions come up. I hope that there's some new signings coming from, say, Dragon Gate, a la Shingo. And I hope that we see some talent coming from elsewhere. But until we do, there's a little bit of a dearth of like proper young talent to build around the future. And I think that's why Jay White's being pushed so hard, because they kind of feel the need to make a guy pretty quickly who can be there when some of the older guys finally elect to go. Because of course we talked about it earlier, Izuka retiring, Nagata has kind of semi-retired. You've also got the Tenkozy guys are pretty much gone. You've got
Tiger Mask is gonna retire.
Tiger Mask gonna
fucking
retire.
Liger's gonna retire. Fucking,
Yep.
There's a lot. I mean, yeah, I looked it up when you mentioned it. Izuka is 52. Your boy Suzuki's 50. Desperado's 75 and a half, I think.
Desperado's actually somewhat young.
Kanemaru is 42. Desperado's 35. So I mean, he's pretty much retired.
So he's the same age as Kushida.
Yeah. I don't even know how. Let's see. Where's Tai Chi? Since I'm looking at all the fucking Suzuki Goon guys up, where's Tai Chi? He wasn't. He wasn't even on this.
No, he wasn't on the card. He was on the New Year's Dash card.
Yeah.
In a bit of a weird, I'm kind of let down by build, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So, yeah, substantial to say, the roster is aging a little bit, and the All Elite thing probably has come around at a somewhat inopportune time for New Japan, if we're being honest. But hopefully Gato has a plan, and that plan is going to really work very well. That's the hope.
Well, I think they're going to try to be signing more people. They have a new president. They've got theoretically money behind them now that they didn't have before, or a plan, an international plan. They've got guys like Jay White who hopefully develops into something. They've got theoretically they've got their fingers out there in a lot of different pies, and they're able to pull guys up from different federations that are lower prestige. So, I mean, here's hoping. Oh, by the way, Tai Chi's 38.
that's about what I figured. And moving on, we had Switchblade Jay White with Gato versus Okada, the only non-title match singles. Actually, the only non-title match on the main card, because another six-man gauntlet was pre-show. I enjoyed the match. I'm still not 100% sold on Jay White as a future main event guy.
No.
But he looks strong when in control. He sells reasonably well. He is getting better. I remember the Tanahashi match. Might have actually been last year's Wrestle Kingdom, actually, to be honest. Where I left feeling very unimpressed. And a little let down, because I was a big Jay White fan from his days in ROH. Particularly a match he had with Jay Briscoe, which was my first exposure to him. It was very, very good.
I think Jay White would have been better served to actually stay in a Ring of Honor for 3 years-ish. I think he could have learned a lot. I think he could have been far more advanced coming into a New Japan type situation than he is at this iteration of reality, right?
I would agree with that.
And yes, it was last year that he had that match versus Tanahashi, and we all kind of stuck both hands in our armpits and shrugged. And it was like, and then later on, they gave him the big win over Kenny Omega, and that match was not good enough. And that kind of last year at Wrestle Kingdom started up the whole Jay White's not good enough in my mind. And he was not good enough, and then they put him in another high-profile spot and gave him all the shine, and it wasn't good enough, 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 and every time I see him, it's just not good enough. And tonight, the Wrestle Kingdom was the first time that I would say that it was just good enough. Just good enough. But most of the match was Okada.
Most of the match was Okada being the guy definitely in control of things and definitely the guy making a lot of the good stuff happen.
Yeah.
Which you expect when you got a young guy in there with Okada. Okada is quite possibly the best in the world. It's basically him or Omega.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think the Jay White match that gives me hope was his match with Hangman Page. That was a really good match. And the one where Josh Barnett kind of stuck his dick in there against Juice Robinson was also quite good. Although the other matches with Juice Robinson, not so much, so I'm not sure what that says.
And
I'm hopeful.
Just kind of, one can hope, but at this point, at this stage in his career, when apparently he's supposed to be taking over the entirety of New Japan, he's just barely good enough to sell to top guys.
He's the numero uno heel at this point because Naito is kind of tweener, basically. And then Minoru Suzuki has been really cooled off, which probably is a good call because if a 50-year-old man is your top heel, that does signify some significant issues.
Yeah, I would say Zack Sabre Jr. might be top heel, but it's arguable. Highly arguable.
I think if Zack Sabre Jr. takes over Suzuki Gun and we get the Sabre Goon, then yes.
Mm-hmm.
But Jay White is right now de facto number one heel. He's your heel stable leader with the Firing Squad / Bullet Club.
Ooh, Sabre Goon versus Bullet Club. Who's bringing the knife to the gunfight?
Ooh,
hey,
that's a good one. That's a really good one. This match was very, very good. And, Gato added a little bit to it by being a distraction and eating a little bit of shit. And,
it was a really good spot. He finally got a little comeuppance.
Yeah, Jay White smacking him with the chair. And also the early on dive by Okada onto Switchblade and Gato was...
Well, no, before that, I'm talking about Gato getting some comeuppance. When Okada was beating the shit out of Jay White, and Gato gets in the ring and, tries to patty cake him with a chair. And Okada turns around and is like, sweetie, no.
No.
Gives him what did he give him a pile driver? I can't remember what it was.
Might have given him a pile driver.
But yeah, he gave some business to Gato. They all went outside, and then Okada did his patented Superman crossbody over the barricade, quite a distance over the barricade, I might add. And so that was good to see. I enjoyed that bit of a payoff. But we didn't even talk about Okada comes out as the Rainmaker. No more vacation.
Rainmaker is back. Vacation
over, baby. Vacation over. We back. And he came out with his trunks on and his boots and his jacket and his hair all blonde and he's no balloons. Balloons can suck a dick. And he's back to kick ass. And he did. I enjoyed this match, but it wasn't because of Jay White. That's basically what it boils down to.
Pretty much, yeah. In the end, Jay White did win by reversing the tombstone into a Blade Runner. And, or wait, that was a nice spot before that, but Okada hits a Rainmaker, ends up falling to the Blade Runner though. Man, my notes on the end of the match were really shit.
You were drunk as hell.
I probably we were watching fucking Wrestle Kingdom.
I was ass deep into some Suntory whiskey, which I picked up. I was drinking Suntory with Kanemaru somewhere scurrying around, and I also, just spoiler alert, also had a bottle of Pinot Grigio, which I was sort of mixing back and forth, which was delightful, I might add. So yeah, by this point, I was no better than you.
And then we had Naito challenging Mr. Chris Jericho for the IWGP Intercontinental title.
This was awesome.
I enjoyed the Pearl Harbor from Naito, even hitting Red Shoes. Yeah. There was a double fake-out suicide dive where Naito tried to do his tranquilo little pose thing and then went for the dive, and Jericho's like, "No, not having it." Kendo stick to the face, bam.
Eat shit. There was a bunch of eat shit moments in this match.
Jericho is the best brawler in pro wrestling right now, quite frankly. That's just all there is to it. And he took charge for a lot of this match using the security barrier, the announcer table, and everything as weapons. Even doing a Terry Funk thing where he's like, "Throw all of the chairs into the ring." Yeah. He did get hit with a code breaker. Did not quite sell his own move. Just saying.
Yeah, well, he's immune to it. He's built up a tolerance.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Naito ends up hitting a belt shot and then tosses it into the crowd and hits the Destino for 3, and he's got the title. That title is back to be disrespected by Naito once again.
Yeah, I don't know. He's stated on a couple of occasions. Well, like the last time he held the title before Jericho beat him for it, he won, and he straight up said to the crowd, I don't know what this means to me anymore. I used to hate it. I used to hate everything. I used to hate all of you. But I've had to struggle and to reclaim this, and now I don't know how to feel about it. So it'll be interesting to see how he feels about it now.
He had a horrendous, like, almost domestic abuse analogy for the belt.
It was really good.
It loves me so much that it's back.
Yeah, it was, you heard him say it out loud, and I believe it was Chris Charlton translated it, and I went kind of, ooh, I don't know if you can say that, ooh, I don't know. What kind of heat are you going for on this one? I'm get a lot of heat, maybe.
You know what? Naito does things to get heat and somehow ends up with, like, just pop. So yeah, I don't even know. He's just tranquilo. Yeah. We wound off the night with the Ace, Tanahashi, coming out with Shibata to challenge the Cleaner with the Bucks, Kenny Omega. There's a little bit of cosplay, a little bit of 8-bit, and, standard Kenny. And we immediately pretty much spill the action out to the Japanese announce team with Milano taking a pump.
We totally forgot earlier in the heavyweight three-way dance for the heavyweight tag. Evil went and Paradise locked the shit out of, what was it? I don't think it was one of the Gorillas. Was it?
It was one of the Bucks. It was.
Yeah, so they immediately cut right back to Milano on commentary, and Milano's looking kind of like, oh yeah. I enjoyed that. Anyway, back to the main event.
Milano is greatest commentator in the world.
Yeah, I don't even need to know what he's saying. I just need to know that he's there. But yeah, I enjoyed. I was actually sending the One True Kyle text message. I'm like, Kenny Omega's cosplaying out to the ring. You would fucking freak.
Indeed. We did get a Japanese announce table involved, or a table involved pretty early, as Kenny was gonna, put Ace through it. Ace is like, nah, no, I'm not gonna use it. Not gonna use it.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, he would eventually eat it, but that's skipping forward in time a little bit.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that. That was a great deal. My overall thoughts on the match, if I can just sum it up, is this match was just fucking great. There was nothing about this match that I didn't enjoy. I enjoyed Tanahashi setting up the table. I enjoyed that, spoiler alert, it's the rules of pro wrestling. Although I love it when they break those rules. I wish that they'd break it more often so that it wasn't really a rule. But I loved when he went to go high fly flow Kenny through the fucking table and Kenny moved and he just ate shit. You're like, oh no, he's in some real trouble now. But the psychology was great. The pacing was great. I was never bored. I was never not entertained. This was a great match.
I really enjoyed the fact that we had a bit of a reverse Tanahashi match as well.
Yeah.
Because, of course, Tanahashi has been lately, he gets worked over and everything, and he's the one in danger. He's the one in extreme pain. Kenny kind of tweaked his knee, possibly a little bit for real, when he hit a Death Valley bomb. Mm-hmm. And the Ace starts attacking that with dragon screws and shit, and basically doing to Kenny what people have been doing to him for the last, it feels like, years.
Yeah, spoiler alert, if you watch that spot in slow motion, it was the safest it could be. Yeah, I'm pouring in the background. That spot was the safest it could be. There's no possible way he got hurt. But in full speed, you and I were watching it, we both went, ooh, But, yeah, no, I think that, and as far as booking decisions go for this entire card, I disagree with the Ishii finish, but the match was all right. I still would not have Jay White in the prominent position he's in. I would do the Ultra Gato and slow build the slow build on the slow build, and then 2 years from now.
I suppose the question would be: is that who fills that void if not Jay White?
Fucking Tama Tonga. Give Tama Tonga his fucking spot. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy, but then he can't do the good guy gimmick, and we're enjoying the good guy.
Who fucking says? Damn it. It's all booking. But I would slow play the slow play, and I would do Jay White as he is now in a year or two from now. He's young enough, that's totally viable. And you could build it.
He's like 25 years old.
Right now, Jay White's character is that he get fucking angry. I'm angry. Oh my goodness, I'm so angry. But you don't have any reason. It's like the rich white kid angry because his Corvette that he got for his 16th birthday isn't as cool as the fucking Chevy Nova SS that the middle class kid and his dad built in their garage. He's angry about that. I don't give a fuck if Jay White, the Switchblade, is angry. Give him a reason to be angry. Hold him down. Make it very clear that he's the thing that should be the thing, but they keep holding him down in Bullet Club, and then he fucking takes over. Give him a fucking reason. Right now, he's the white Roman Reigns. But as a whole of a card, they started off with probably a 5-star match, and they ended it off with probably a 5-star match. This was like eating a whole pan of brownies. You get to start on that crispy, fucking caramelized edge, oh my god, oh yeah, baby. And then you get into the center and it's all fucking really good. And then you get all the way to the other edge of the pan and it's oh yeah, I remember this. Oh yeah, it's like almost an inverted bell curve, but the slope is not steep, not at all. It's, this was, as a Wrestle Kingdom as a whole, was excellent. And the main event, we could go spot for spot and pick out a thing. The thing with the table, I think, was the highlight. But the psychology and when they got to the end and they were countering the counters of the counters, and the same thing with the Jericho and Naito match when they were doing all that stuff. fantastic. Like, you can't really just fucking go watch it. Goddammit.
Pretty much. I didn't like the finish for the Ace Kenny match just because it was a single high five flow, and we had seen we'd seen him hit 2. We saw him hit triple power bomb earlier in the match with a double stomp.
Yeah, that's true.
So could have used a better finish.
I don't know. I was
aside from that, it was awesome.
I was fine with it. The high fly flow that he landed was spectacular. They had played up the psychology for the feud was very much a statement. So this was a statement match. The way that they'd played it up is like, my style's better than your style. Your style's old and boring. No, your style's new and dumb. And we're going to find out. And we found out that both guys are right. It's just that Tanahashi won. I think that was the message of the match.
Mm-hmm. Then we had New Year's Dash, which we'll go through relatively quickly because there wasn't a tremendous amount here.
Oh my goodness.
Opened up with KES and Iizuka versus Roppongi 3K and Rocky Romero, which had the spot of the night, which was Archer getting hit with the Forever Lariats and just taking a step forward and no selling, taking another step forward and no selling.
Until Rocky, I think, had maybe 8 feet of room away from him in the turnbuckle, and he's like, this isn't working, is it? And Archer's like, it's not working.
It's not working, bud. In the end, they roll up as Yo gets a roll up on Iizuka, and Roppongi gets the fuck out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had the Pimp and Chase Owens with Tokyo Latina versus Henare and Hanma, who... Do we know why he wasn't on the Wrestle Kingdom card?
No, but I suspect that they really wanted to put the most violent players back together. I think that's really they really wanted to pop the crowd for Wrestle Kingdom. I think that's what that was.
Fair enough.
And I think they're still a little concerned because Hanma, with the head injury.
With the head injury.
So they're going to put him on New Year's Dash, and we're going to pop the crowd at New Year's Dash because everybody loves Hanma, which should be a show. And we're going to pop the crowd. They just want to pop the crowd twice. I think that's what that was.
It worked.
And if anybody's not totally familiar with New Year's Dash, the deal is that this is the show the day directly after New Year's Wrestle Kingdom, and they don't tell anybody shit. You just have to show the fuck up and find out what the fuck's going on. So they will literally they'll book, whoever, Gedo will book the thing, and when you show up at the arena, you're told who you're working with or working against, or both, hopefully both. And they slide a card to the announcer, and I don't know how far in advance, maybe half an hour in advance, possibly. And then they don't tell the announcers shit. The announcers find out when we find out.
Pretty much.
I think that's why they put Chris Charlton on commentary so he could translate, which he didn't actually do a great job of. We had to kind of just listen for names and hope that we understood what was going on. So we got to hear the crowd react as they announced the card, completely blank, completely cold. The referee, nobody knew nothing. And there was a huge pop, and neither of us could figure out why. What happened? What did they say? I didn't hear, and then we just had to kind of wait for translation and stuff.
Indeed. We got Pimp former club, Pimp and Owens versus Henare and Hamno. Like we said, Tokyo Latina there again. The former Bullet Club goes over with the package pile driver on Henare.
Correct.
Which might flow into Hinare's whole thing with GBH. And, of course, now with Yano possibly being involved in GBH. Interesting. Does he perhaps break away from Chaos?
That's possible. It would be interesting to see if they do a splintering of Chaos, or... which, again, contract speculation. There's a lot of contracts up for grabs for WWE in the new year. One of them being the King of Strong Style, who founded Chaos. So, do we have a splintering of Chaos led by a return of Nakamura, who either A, makes his own thing, or B, tries to take over Chaos from your boy.
Just kind of shows up and says, when I left, we had a big title.
Uh-huh.
We had Gato. We had the Booker. What do we got now?
Yeah, I don't know if they say Booker, but
I will lead you to the promised land.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if they've had contact with him and he's pretty much confirmed he's leaving WWE or whatever. I don't know. These are all fantasy booking warfares not yet come to life.
Indeed. We had Rocky Romero join commentary for the Best Friends versus Juice and Finlay. This is a rematch of Tag League where Best Friends got disqualified because Chucky Taylor losing his mind.
Yup.
And this was more of that mixed with Trent's mom comedy.
Yeah, he definitely Chucky T has lost his goddamn mind. But it was a great spot to see Beretta go up into the stands and hug his mom. I can't remember what he said before the match. Something about everybody say hi to my mom.
I think this match is in honor of my mom, who's here.
Yeah, exactly. So Finlay, after this match, has beaten 8 dudes in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty impressive.
Doing his thing.
Then after the match, Chucky T made like he was going to go like a psychotic rampage, which he kind of did a little bit. But then he motioned like he was going to go up into the stands after Beretta's mom, which was interesting.
Indeed, I smell feud coming there, and that should be good. I'll enjoy that. And maybe introduces Trent Beretta as a bit of fresh life into a fully singles Trent.
Yeah.
We had Kushida, Jeff Cobb, and Nagata versus Ospreay, Goto, and Ishii. Slightly heelish chaos in this match.
I'm fine with it.
And in the end, Ospreay put Kushida away with a Stormbreaker. And there was a lot of post-match fracas and like just general heat with Ishii and Nagata, which is a bit of an odd feud to go to, but I'm fine with it.
I thought there was more going on with Cobb and Ishii, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it seemed more that like Ishii was directed at Nagata, and like Cobb was like trying to stick up for Nagata a little bit. So maybe that's the translation feud, and then maybe if Ishii beats Cobb, you go to Ishii Nagata. That could be fun. Well,
no, I would do it the other way around.
That's true. That's
Why
true.
would you have him beat the hottest guy in pro wrestling right now?
The thing is,
and then transfer into the retiree.
It depends on what Cobb's contract is like, to be honest. That's kind of the problem with like New Japan and independent wrestling in general. Is like there's like what you should do, and then there's what you should do based on the contract. Situation.
That's true.
Kushida, then we had Taguchi, Yano, and Makabe getting their title shot. I assume this is the only match that probably was planned in advance.
It was announced on the pre-show for the Wrestle Kingdom that this was the gauntlet match was the number one contenders for the 6-man titles for the next day. This was the only thing announced.
I entirely had forgotten Ishimori has both the IWGP Junior and the Never Openweight 6-man.
Belts on belts on belts.
Yeah, him and the Gorillas come out. It would have been sweet if the Gorillas still had their tag belts, because that's a lot of gold. Yep. They came out with Jado, and basically this was a perfectly fine match, but it set up the fact that Chase Owens and Yujiro Takahashi returned to attack Makabe and help Tonga Loa get the pin. So they're back with Bullet Club, which kind of ties back to the whole thing ages ago. That was a bit weird that they got attacked immediately by the Gorillas back when the Civil War started.
Yeah, it was a bit strange. But these are the guys that we knew were going to get lost in the shuffle, and we weren't wrong. So, I mean, what are you going to do? But who wants to lose the pimp in the shuffle, really?
That's true. They've been keeping them reasonably strong with some good wins. So, I mean, hopefully they fit nicely back into Bullet Club and become a bigger part of it.
Yeah, and they I don't know if they're pushing Chase Owens as he is, or if he's just making the most of an opportunity. But he's really putting himself over as I'm undefeated. I'm the guy. What the fuck up, yo homie.
There was only one thing that would have made this better, and that was if if Chase Owens had come out with like a zip up hoodie type deal or some kind of jacket, and like as he's going to attack Makabe, he like unzips the jacket, throws it off, and it's the Honoré Tongan t-shirt underneath.
That would have been great.
Then we had Minoru Suzuki, Kanemaru, Desperado, Taichi, Zack Sabre Jr. versus LIJ with Taka, of course, at ringside. This was pure chaos brawl. Not really even a match, to be honest.
No, but it was fun.
It was fun though. It was great. The only thing I did not really care for is it basically sets up Taichi versus Naito, which is not a fantastic match.
No, because Taichi is possibly the most boring member of that group, even though he has the pants.
Mm-hmm. It's not the most boring, but he's the most boring from an in-ring standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to go that route. Mind you, that means we get Abe, and I'm always down for Abe.
That may be correct.
Yeah. Post-match beatdown of LIJ. We get Switchblade, Fale, and Gato versus Yoshihashi, Okada, and Ace. The return of Yoshihashi. Would you like to share the story of how Yoshihashi got hurt?
Yeah. Apparently, if y'all remember and wind your brains back, there was a time when Mr. Okada and Mr. Gato were pretty good friends. Not in the way that you sick bastard. Just calm down. They're not that good friends, but they were pretty good friends. And then Mr. Gato whacked Mr. Okada in the back with a chair. And then everybody beat the shit out of Okada. Well, the man who was supposed to fucking make the big save and elevate his career to the next level was a dude named Yoshi Hash Browns, who slipped, fell, smashed his shoulder and head, and didn't even make it to the ring.
I did think that, thinking back, I did think that the guys were behaving a bit weird, as if they were expecting a run-in that just wasn't happening.
Yeah. Like, are we getting away with this? We're getting away with this. Oh my god. So, yeah, Yoshihashi, who I don't understand why anybody likes, but apparently I think the crowd was just happy that he's back, I guess. Not so much that they like him, but that was the name that they announced. And the crowd popped huge for in the pre-show. So, Yoshihashi, oh my god, Yoshihashi! Like, yeah, I guess, but I didn't even notice he was gone.
I feel like Yoshihashi is just something we're kind of missing. Like, I think you suggested this even a while back, that like there's something subtle about him that appeals to Japanese culture that we're just not able to appreciate.
There's something, dare I say, Japanese-ish about him that just does not translate. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the stoicism because his face never moves. Maybe it's because he's very stoic, but he wears very loud clothing and he does weird things with his hair.
And carries a massive pip cane.
Yeah, maybe there's a thing there. Maybe there's a cultural touch that I'm not clear on. His hair for this match looked fucking bad. It looked like he literally got released from an actual hospital like 3 days beforehand.
Maybe that was kind of the guy. Maybe that was the kind of the idea.
Yes, like please more sympathy, please. But yeah, apparently the plan was for Yoshihashi to have a major role in this, as it was, and he tripped, fell, smashed himself open, hurt his shoulder and his head, had a concussion on top of a few things, and just didn't. Is that gonna be like the touchstone of his whole career? Is like the guy who's just like, oh, but maybe
he's not that young, so maybe
he is in fact 72 years old.
He's not 72 years old. Maybe Tiger Hattori is 72 years old. That's about it.
Maybe. Yoshihashi is currently 36.
Yeah, I thought it was 35, but yeah, 36, that makes sense. Yeah, at the end, the ace gets lured in after, of course, Hashi eats the pin. So welcome back, eat the pin. Even in a match that has freaking Gato in it, eat the pin.
Yup. New Japan trivia. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right, well, okay, this isn't strictly New Japan trivia, but it involves two New Japan members.
Okay.
Tonga Loa is currently a 5-time tag team champion 4 times in New Japan with Tangaloa. Can you name another partner he won a title with, not in New Japan, and bonus points if you can name the federation?
This is Tama Tonga we're talking about, right?
Tangaloa.
Okay, Tangaloa. I believe he won the title with Juice Robinson in FCW.
You are 102% correct.
Yeah, I remember that. I love the FCW days. In the end, Ace gets beaten down in a post-match deal. He gets lured in by Jay White. Okada with the save, but Fale hand grenades him, so he'll stand tall to finish off the card.
The Mega Powers are uniting.
Indeed.
I need a jet. See, and this is what I wanted. Fantasy Warfare coming to life. You ready for this? I've probably been over this a bunch of times already, but I want this All Elite Wrestling thing to be awesome. Cool, granted. I want, there's obvious ties between All Elite Wrestling and New Japan. There's some conflicting, weird information that they're not going to do any business with All Elite Wrestling. And then there's conflicting information that they're totally interested in doing business with All Elite Wrestling like they do with ROH. And I hope that it's a giant 4-way dance with PWG where everybody gets to have all the fun all the time and there's great wrestling nonstop.
5-way dance. Add Rev Pro.
Add Rev Pro, yes. But maybe not because they're kind of filthily connected to the WWE, so maybe not. But I'm still fine with it. Anyway, I want, much like LIJ is the Japanese Los Ingobernables, I want Tanahashi and Okada to become part of the Elite. And it's the Elite at that point. Underscore, boldface, italicized, the Elite. There's none more elite than that. You can't argue. I don't give a fuck what you have to say. There's no one else you can add to that would make it more elite and prestigious a group than that. But then Okada and Tanahashi get to become Elite Japan or however you want to spin that. So they are not so much an extension, but they're like an outpost of the elite, global elite. They could be global elite. Boom, done. How could that be better?
There was a global elites faction in Impact Wrestling, so I'm just having flashbacks.
That's not a thing that we're gonna try. We're gonna pretend that doesn't exist.
It had Kevin Nash and Eric Young in it. Oh.
It had Eric Young in it. Oh, then that's probably pretty good.
He was actually the leader.
That sounds like the best thing you could possibly do.
It had British Invasion, which was Magnus and Doug Williams. It had him. It had Kevin Nash. It had Sheikh Abdul Bashir, which is Daivari.
Yeah, I know.
Basically, it had all the foreign guys at the time.
Interesting.
And then Kevin Nash, he was just there for business, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to. But I that's what I want. I want like an official, like top tier elite. You can't argue this is elite. And Tanahashi and Okada are having problems with the Bullet Club. Well, Matu and Niku Jackson are gonna come to the rescue. Dude, 3 never open 6-man titles. Tanahashi, Okada, Omega. Who are you gonna beat him? Like who? Who's gonna beat him? Anybody gonna beat him? Nobody's gonna beat him.
No, that's true.
Okada and the Bucks.
It has some practicality problems with the fact that apparently there's a fair amount of heat between Ace and Kenny. So that can be worked around.
Real heat?
Proper heat. They just apparently just do not like each other. They do not care for each other.
That sounds stupid. I would assume after the match they just had, a lot of that heat's going to go away.
That might help.
I assume that's what's going on there. There may be Gato might be the biggest genius of all time in orchestrating that shit. Like Tanahashi and Omega don't like each other. Well, let's give them 40 minutes to work that shit out in the ring. Yeah, that'll work probably pretty good.
Yeah, that could work pretty good. So that was the New Year's Dash card, and we move on to Impact Wrestling Homecoming. It was pretty good, but not fantastic. And
there was some weird, like, okay. 3 points during this night. They did a 1 count and kick out.
Mostly Willie Mack doing that.
And there was, I can't remember, there was something dumb that they did twice. I don't remember what it is now. But yeah, there was some finishes to this that didn't make a ton of sense. Like, Rich Swann just seemed to accidentally win the X Division Championship. Spoiler alert, we'll talk about that first. And then the main event had this weird finish that, I mean, if that's what they were going for, I see how it is, but they did it wrong. Same thing with the Ishii finish. And yeah, there was some stuff in here like I would not have done, but I'm not in charge. So, Callis, you're fucking on point here.
We opened up with the Ultimate X match between Rich Swann, Trey Miguel, Ethan Page, and Jake Christ. This wound up being won by Rich Swann, as you indicated. It was a pretty good match, but yeah, the win really kind of came out of nowhere and had this really kind of weird spot with Jake Christ and Rich Swann beforehand, where you got a pile driver on the outside by Jake Christ onto Rich Swann, and then he just carried him up the stage, left him there, and appeared to injure his own leg.
Yeah.
And there were definitely more than a couple of spots where a dude was like climbing on the ropes and like getting close to the X and then would like stop and look around like, okay, someone was supposed to have already stopped me.
Yeah, it was very strange. And same thing with the finish where Rich Swann got up on one of the ropes and he was monkey barring across. He got about halfway and then stopped for no discernible reason whatsoever. And then got 2/3 of the way further, almost to the title, and then stopped for no reason whatsoever. And I think it was
Trey Miguel was trying to get up,
yeah, Trey Miguel got like 1/3 of the way across his rope because after Rich Swann had waited like 40 or 50 seconds, and then Rich Swann just like, oh, fuck it, and undid the belt and won. Like, all right, I don't know why you did it like that.
A bit weird. On the better side, we had Su Yung and Allie versus Kiera Hogan and Jordan Grace, which actually started off kind of really badly with a really bad distraction deal, where Jordan Grace had the referee distracted so that her partner could get the crap beaten out of her.
Yeah, this was weird. It was, if I remember correctly, it was the face distracting the heel so that the other face could do a move off the apron. But that face got distracted by the other heel. So it was the face distracting the heel, distracting the face, distracting the heel, who was distracted then by the original face, who distracted the other heel, and then it just didn't work. Like, I don't... What?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah. In the end, Kiera Hogan got choked out with the glove, and they were beating her down.
Pretty abrupt.
Yeah, beating her down post-match. The other thing was, like, Jordan Grace was not making the save in any way, despite the fact that was kind of like her...
There.
She was there. She wasn't tremendously incapacitated or anything, and, like, she got involved in this feud by making the save for Kiera, so, you know, one would assume she would come to her rescue.
Yeah.
The brides are coming out with the coffin, and Rosemary's in the coffin. Her knee is still jacked up as all shit, by the way. Just watching her move. In the end, she beats up the brides, and then just kind of freaks out Allie by moving to, like, pat her on the head or something, or hit her in the head. I
don't know. I think she was trying to, like, let me bring you back from the dark side.
I feel like that might be a callback to just the storyline that we're not familiar with, like when they were friends. Like, I don't know, maybe like
that could be.
Yeah, that like that was what I was thinking. Maybe it was like her deal was she would pat her on the head or something when they were buddies.
I don't know.
And this was kind of like, no, I'm not the person anymore.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Hashtag me too.
Then we had Moose and Eddie Edwards, and this match was missing a key thing, which was no Raven. I'm very disappointed by that.
I'm kind of I think they're doing an intelligent thing and slow playing the Raven because he was in a vignette that they did, and Eddie Edwards was locked up in a mental horse pistol, and Raven stole the guard's key and gave it to Eddie Edwards who broke out, but before he left, he's like, "Oh, I owe you," and Raven's like, "Yeah, you do." So that'll come up at some point, unless Raven's a complete flake and they can't do business.
I mean, there's a 50-50 chance that that's the case.
This is a pretty good match. I'm still not sold on why everybody's hyped on Moose, but it was all right. It's fine. It's better than the Miz. And then I really enjoyed the ending where Eddie Edwards' wife came out and they kendo stick the shit out of Moose together. Remember, kids, the couple that kendo sticks together stays together.
That's true. And, he wins with the even flow DDT for the 3 count, and House Edwards wins.
I say rather.
Sami Callihan cut a pretty good promo on Willie Mack, and he's going to teach him a lesson about getting in Ohio's way, basically.
Yeah, I think this is just a testament to how good Sami Callihan is. I don't agree with him labeling himself as the Draw.
Yeah, that could go fuck itself.
I think he can do so much better by being so much less on the nose. Like, why? I see what he's going for. I know it. I understand it, but it's so on the nose for his character that it's so on the nose that you have to know that it's directed specifically at any booking committee. It's not even directed at the fans. It's not even a catchphrase. It's nothing. It's directed. He decided he's going to be hashtag the draw, and he made the announcer announce himself as hashtag the draw, end quotes. If you announce yourself as hashtag anything, you'd better be so fucking bad at your job that you're the Miz. Because it's just Comedy Town after that. But it's so clearly directed at every booking committee that exists, that if you're going to be booking him, he has to be the main event. That's the message. And it's so commercialized? Is that? Yeah. It's
absolutely.
Extremely commercialized for a character that has no commercial. I'm not going to say no commercial value. That's fucking stupid. But it would be as commercialized as
he fucking leads a stable of tweakers.
Yeah, pretty much. You lead a stable of drug addicts, and you yourself style yourself as the greasiest, less drug addicted member. But I mean, at least the other two wash their hair. It's just like, I don't know. You know how commercially successful Stone Cold's gimmick was? And how commercially successful The Rock's gimmick was, but it's very clear that they were marketed very different ways. It's as if Stone Cold Steve Austin came out and tried to sell you his merch. It would not work even once.
I mean, he did sell you his merch by wearing it. That was about it.
But it's not like, buy my t-shirts on www.shop.com. That was actually more Undertaker.
That was kind of half and half.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't differentiate Texans. They're all the same.
Chris is going to hate you for that.
I said it out loud for a reason. But it just wouldn't work in the way that it would for if Super Eric Young came out and tried to sell you a t-shirt, you'd probably buy it because it's funny because Super Eric's selling you a t-shirt, right?
Yeah.
But you wouldn't do that if Balls Mahoney did it.
No. Balls Mahoney does not make any sense to sell merch.
Exactly.
Though he would probably have the coolest merch.
Yeah, you totally buy them t-shirts because it's Balls. But I don't like it. It's a long-winded of saying, I don't like it. And I'm throwing a tantrum about... I'm not really, though.
I enjoyed the match, although this was definitely the one where we had a lot of number one countouts by Willie Mack after really hard fucking moves. And then not winning. That's the weird thing.
Yeah. I don't understand. Anyways. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with Sami Callihan winning. And like I said, I think this is a testament to how good he is, because this was thrown together in like 2.5 days or some dumb shit like that. Like there's no reason for this match to even happen. And Sami Callihan hyped the shit out of this so that you only cared about that. And Willie Mack's awesome. So I have no problems with the match. The match was good, other than, the 1 count weird spot that the guy didn't win. Huh? But it's a testament to both guys and Sami Callihan's like untapped potential, really.
That's absolutely true, and WWE gave up on this guy.
No, he actually asked for his release.
Yeah, but they had given up on him before that. This was one of those cases where, like, okay, you haven't done anything with me in like months. Can I just go?
Can I just go wrestle and become famous? Thank you.
It's kind of that was basically all that was, and then we had the stuff with the Monsters Ball, Eli Drake, Abyss. I don't have anything to say with this. If you've seen a Monsters Ball match, you've seen this.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know. I don't want to say it's too short, because these kind of matches, I don't really want them to go too long. But I think they took too long getting to the real business early. I don't remember all the specifics for this match, but I seem to remember that early on they did some wrestling, and it's like, this is a Monsters Ball match, though, right?
I didn't mind the wrestling because it was a Monsters Ball match with a guy who shouldn't really be in a Monsters Ball match. And
yeah, but we just had a hardcore match. Like two matches before this, we had a hardcore match.
Mm-hmm.
And this is supposed to be a hardcore match on meth, and they spent a lot of time wrestling.
Whoa!
Come on!
Don't say it's on meth, because the fucking Chris might come in.
That's what I kind of expected, to tell you the truth. Listen, can we, instead of a bag full of tacks, can we just do a bag full of meth?
Oh, God.
And then you slam the Chris on there, and then the Chris win.
Not the match, just at life at that point.
Yeah, just like they go on to become very successful, because they're driven somehow chemically. But like this match suffered from the fact that they already had a very good hardcore match. And what are you doing? Why are you wrestling in a Monsters Ball match?
Also,
I thought this was supposed to be like the big ultimate, and it was just sort of a halfway hardcore.
The problem also with the Monsters Ball match is Abyss's record in it. I was looking it up during this, and he's something like 19-29 now in these matches, and he lost like the first 4 or something. So this being like a signature match of his, and something you're supposed to be intimidated or scared, like the interview chick, Mackenzie, I believe is her name, asked Eli, is like, are you sure you're not just afraid of the Monsters Ball match? If that was me, I'd be like, bitch, he's 19 and 28. I'm not afraid of this. Yeah,
the only other problem I had with this match is Abyss's use of this nail-spiked chunk of wood named Janice. Mm-hmm. Did he get this kind of gimmick handed down to him directly from Mick Foley? Is that a thing?
No, he was doing it before he really had contact with Mick Foley.
So he ripped off Mick Foley. He's using a thing that you can't use. I will stipulate right now, having never seen him whip this thing out before, he's never used it in a match. Like, it's been around the match. It's been in matches.
Yeah, it gets stuck in stuff, and like that's its gimmick.
He's never used it in a match in his entire career. It'd be like me bringing a gun to the ring. It's never going to be used. Maybe I'll hit somebody. I'll smack somebody in the face with it. It's never going to be used. What if I bring a loaded shotgun to the ring? It's not going to be part of the fucking match. It's wrestling. If you have a 2x2 or something like that?
It's a 2x. No, I think it's a 2x4 actually.
No, it's not rectangular. It's square. It's either a 2x2 or a 4x4 or some kind of somewhere in between. But it's got 6-inch nails driven through either side of it, like all 4 sides. It's never going to be used. Just give up. Just stop. With Mick Foley, the reason I asked is because Mick Foley, Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Affection, he has a big barbed wire baseball bat named Barbie. And
which is a more useful weapon than Janice.
Yeah, because anybody wearing clothing, you can clearly use that on. You can just smack somebody in the back who's wearing a flannel jacket. Spoiler alert, Mick Foley's been smacked in the back by his own bat tons of times.
Because he wears a flannel jacket.
He wears a flannel jacket and a shirt under that, and you get a little poke. You get a lot of little pokes, but you get little pokes, and it's no worse than doing a tag match.
Or
With
you can also do the whole...
nails, you will fucking kill somebody. You fucking morons.
And you can also do the whole roll the bat along the guy's face or whatever as well.
Yeah.
So, there's that.
It's the dumbest fucking... Okay, I'm just going to bring a machete to the ring and threaten to chop people's hands off, because it'll... obviously, at some point, I'll be able to pay that off. The fuck's wrong with you fucking people?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it's a great match.
I mean, it's the sort of thing that might work in, like, Lucha Underground with, like, the spooky factor. But that's about it.
Yeah, but they can do vignettes. They can do vignettes backstage. You can't do this in a match. You can't. You can't. Even in Lucha Underground, you can't use it in a match. How are you going to edit around that?
Well, I mean, like, just... It's... You don't use it in Lucha Underground. What I mean is you could bring it out and have it kind of be believable because of the atmosphere that you've created. This almost supernatural... The regular rules of reality don't really apply here, which Impact Wrestling does not have.
I see what you're saying. Okay, here, let me give you an example. Lucha Underground, and I think this is going to be able to prove you wrong. So you have your choice. Lucha Underground, you could do a three-way to the grave match.
There was a machete in the match between Mil Muertes and Mac.
And who got their hand chopped off?
It didn't get used. I'm just saying it was there, and we didn't really object to it at the time.
Who got that? Well, yeah, because we knew it wasn't going to be used. My point is that this is never going to be used, and apparently this is a long-standing gimmick of his that has never been used in, what, like 20 years?
Not 20, but yeah.
15 years?
15-ish, yeah.
15 years you've been hauling around this fucking piece of wood with nails driven through it that has never once paid off in its entire fucking existence, and nobody's cared since the first time you brought it out because we knew it wasn't going to work. So if you were going to do this in Lucha Underground, and you had Abyss in Lucha Underground, and you had a three-way to the grave match between I don't give a shit who else is in the match, and it's revealed that in one of these coffins, in the coffin, basically some psychotic asshole, maybe Abyss, has basically made this coffin into an Iron Maiden, right? There's nails driven all the way through it. Only we know it's not really, we know that that's probably not the case. And also you have Janice in this match. Which do you think's going to pay off?
The coffin.
Probably the coffin. And I'm talking about an Iron Maiden situation. I'm talking about way more nails. I'm talking about instant death. But you can fucking movie magic that shit. You can have rubber nails or whatever you want on the sides. You can even have real nails on the lid, but you can't have them far enough that they're going to injure whoever it is that's going to be in there. But you can have kayfabe, like movie magicked up nails. You could even do this. You could even do this in WWE. I doubt they have the fucking stones or the intelligence to do it, but somebody named Robert Rodriguez might know a thing or two about stretching a budget and doing some movie shit. And it's just never going to pay off. It'll be like me bringing a giant fucking knife. I've got some knives in the house. I could bring my Rambo replica knife to the match and say it's a first one to stab somebody in the fucking kidneys match, and we know it's going to be a double DQ or a double countout or something. It's never going to work. So don't do it. That's the end of my rant. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know why that took me so long.
it's fine. It's fine. Eli Drake wins. So once again, Abyss jobs in his signature match.
Yeah.
Killer Cross cut a promo.
Sorry. I have one more bitch about this match.
Sure.
The kid ref took the tax in the eye, but he didn't. So fuck you. Just fuck off. Continue on.
By that, we don't even mean that he didn't take tax in the eye. He didn't even blade or anything. Like, there was no blood.
No!
Like, that's the problem.
If you're gonna do kid ref with the tax in the eye, get him some sympathy. Fucking blade.
Or fake blood. Something. Anything.
Something.
God. Something more than I'm gonna hold my glove up to my eye, basically.
He held his hand to the eye for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, whatever I don't know, but it was just like, come on, give me a little something. Tie that shit in movie magic style.
With a Killer Cross promo, basically he's got a message for Mundo. He's the other side of the coin that offers no apologies. And tonight, we won't be talking about option C, but rather option X for Cross.
I also
liked
offer
it.
no apologies. Yeah, no, it's good. I have yet to see anything Killer Cross has done that isn't good at all. So carry on.
We got a quick shot of Nick Wilson and Davey Rickenbacker from Survivor in the crowd with Team Mundo shirts on. They would play in later. Spoiler. We had a package for the LAX versus Lucha Bros match from LAX's perspective. This was extremely hot start to the match. Holy fucking shit. Jesus Christ.
This was just like 11 minutes worth of finishers.
Yeah. Holy fuck. The tandem offense between both of these teams is amazing. I want to see these guys have a match and spread it out a little bit. Spread the
we give these
space
guys half an
finishers
hour.
out. Yeah.
We give them half an hour, for fuck's sake.
Honestly, if you got no actual more action than what we got in this match, and you gave it a half hour, I'd probably love it more.
Yeah, give me the same amount of action spread out like some peanut butter. Holy shit. This was 11 minutes and 20 seconds of me going, that's not the finish? Like every 40 seconds, that's not the finish? That's not the finish? That's not the finish? That's not the finish? I think I got like, I felt like I was being annoying the whole time. Like, that's not the finish? Like,
I've been kind of lukewarm on it.
This was the most New Japan match of all time, and it was
Pretty
not a
much.
New Japan.
I've been kind of lukewarm on LAX prior to this match, though, but they can definitely fucking go. That is for fucking sure.
100%. It's they just put them in weird, goofy situations like that weird dungeon fucking. What was that match from the last pay-per-view?
You mean the what was it called? It was the bear ring match.
Yeah.
Where it was them and Conan versus Kingston. Homicide
kind of
Hernandez.
Street fight to the death with guns and explosives and something. I don't know what the fuck. It was some kind of street fight thing, and they tore all the padding off the ring, and it was just boards. The only thing they didn't do is take the ropes off to have it be a dungeon match. And the one true Kyle got to see that, and I tried to really tell him what was mechanically how that worked. And every time somebody in New Japan did a spot like a pile driver or a Hurricane Rana or something on the apron, I tried to really tell him what was going on, and I could tell he didn't really get it, but that match really helped solidify what was going on. He's like, oh my god, there's just wood? Like, yeah. So that was fun.
Sometimes steel.
So yeah, but this match was, if you want nothing but spots, boy, this is a leopard match you'll never forget. Jesus Christ. But the whole time, I think it's one of those ones like I'll be able to go back and watch it again and go, oh yeah, all right, okay, I see. Like, you guys were given 11 minutes and you had to do everything you could, and you did everything you could, and I appreciate that about you. But at the time of watching, it was just kind of like, what the fuck are we doing here, boys?
Take some time off the Cage Impact match, put it on this one. That'd probably be better.
Yeah.
So I basically have the finishes. Phoenix eats fucking everything under the sun and gets pinned.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyways, Conan comes out, talks about them having, I thought this was going to be terrible because I thought you guys were not going to be able to, keep it business, and you did, and I love you all like sons, basically. Then we had a quick Gail Kim promo leading into her special guest referee spot in the match between Taya Valkyrie and Tessa Blanchard.
Bro, we had a conversation about Gail Kim while we were watching it.
Yeah, we did.
I feel the need to reiterate, she doesn't even look like her anymore. Like, that's a lot of plastic surgery.
There's a lot of plastic surgery going on.
I don't know why. Listen, I'm not trying to judge, but I'm going to be a little judgy. And she looked beautiful. I remember her being absolutely beautiful. And
absolutely stunning. She was my favorite WWE diva when she came in.
And I understand that there's a certain image that certain people, Vince McMahon, want female wrestlers to have big ass titties. And I understand if you get implants and stuff like that. I kind of disagree with it. But then again, I enjoy looking at them, so I kind of, can't disagree that much. But she's obviously had a lot of facial surgery, or I don't know what's happened there. And she doesn't look the same. Like, if you didn't tell me that's Gail Kim, I would have no idea. She looks like generic Asian number 7. It's just not even her anymore. I don't know why. I understand that she's retired now. She doesn't have to give a fuck. She's married to, like, the fake chef guy, but that's okay. I guess that's how life is right now.
I mean, basically, yeah. This was a really good match. Not really a lot of spots to really talk about. Nothing mind-boggling. Nothing blows you away. Nothing I say is going to make you want to go watch the match. Other than it's good. And it's high-quality wrestler.
I'm not talking. I won't talk shit about anything except the finish. Like, the match itself was very good. But we got.
I actually didn't mind the finish, but so continue. I want to know what your problem with the finish.
The problem with the finish is your boy the referee decided he had to go and give every member of every
all 97. That was the Impact cage match, not this one.
What?
We're talking Taya Tessa.
Sorry, got ahead of myself. Got way ahead of myself. Sorry.
Because I mean, I have a slight problem with the finish of this match because it's basically a cheap win for Taya, who's the face.
Well, yeah, and it will be the fourth we didn't see the visual pin spot of this card, or third or fourth?
A third, I do believe.
Yeah, so this will be one of 3. The ref didn't see the visual pin. So that's overused. That's probably the thing I forgot about. So we've had 2 hardcore matches. We had 3 or 4 1-count kickouts, and this is the 3rd. The ref didn't see the finish. So that's a problem. Other than that, yeah, the match was fine. I didn't really have an issue with that. That's about all I can say for it.
Yep. In the end, basically, the cheap win was that Tessa, being the dumb heel, kept getting in Gail Kim's face and so on, and Gail had basically had enough of her shtick, broke up a tug-of-war, actually ended up hitting Taya with the belt by accident, but Taya survived that. She had enough of her shit. She pushes her down, and in the end hits Eat Defeat on Tessa, and Taya pins her. So that's kind of the thing is, for the third match between the face chasing for the belt, it's a bit of a sour way for the face to get the belt.
Yeah, if face she is. I'm not sure how they're playing the power couple from now on.
I would assume still face, but we'll talk about that more in a second. Johnny Impact with a promo about it's not friendship, it's about the belt. He's not a paper champ, he's a fighting champ. Then he faces Brian Cage for the title. And
or does he? Ooh,
the match was pretty kick-ass up until the end. Like, it was pretty good. It was what you would expect from Cage and Impact if they were facing off in, say, Lucha Underground or something. It was a very good match. But basically we wind up with the Survivor Boys getting involved. Rickenbacker takes a bump. And it kind of soured it because Cage gets a visual pinfall. And then we end up with kind of like
counted
this,
like 12 or something.
Yeah, and then we get this kind of like botched sunset flip, possibly intentionally botched. I don't know. Maybe that was kind of meant to be Impact kind of falling ass backwards into a pin. But
Yeah, well, the problem was that, yeah, like you said, the Impact guys kept the ref on the outside for like a minute. Why the fuck would the referee bother with anybody in the crowd,
yeah, they weren't
even
like
for an eighth of a second?
it's not even like they were like tackling him or physically restraining him. They were just talking and yelling at him, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Oh no, you're
he's
getting yelled."
yelling
It's
right
like,
back.
dude, it's secure. You call security and go back to the ring. Jesus.
Yeah, you hit him with a kendo stick, you walk away. Who gives a fuck? Like, the referee doesn't try and count out people in the crowd. The fuck kind of stupid ass booking is this? And then, yeah, the finish, they both went up to the top rope, and it was really fiddly and really jiggly, and it took them about 40 seconds to set it up. And then when they did it, it looked like they botched it. But, and then Johnny just like, oh, I guess that's the way to do it. Okay, yeah, 1, 2, 3, go, win. But if the way they wanted this to play out is that Brian Cage did a thing and went for a move and then fell on the back of his head, and he didn't really lose, he beat himself, then yeah, that's the way to do it. No problem. But it still looks like you botched it.
Plus, the kind of weird thing is you got this kind of dirty victory for Impact, and you're basically setting up a possible feud with Killer Cross or partnership with Killer. I'm not actually entirely sure what Killer Cross is going for, which is not a bad thing.
If he's trying to set up a stable, then I mean that's a good way to make a statement. You went out there and beat the shit out of a guy after he had a long ass match after a monster, so you look like a total badass, he said sarcastically. But I mean, they established that he's not just a manager, that he can beat people up, even though it's somebody who just got beat up. So that's a bad look, but it's also a thing.
I feel like that doesn't even really need much of an establishment. He's fucking bigger than the guy he wants to manage.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a good idea to establish that, depending on what you're going for. And then if he establishes a stable, yeah, you've got a stable of dudes, but you also got the guy who's running the stable who could still kick your ass. So that's fun.
He's kind of still basically doing the White Rabbit gimmick.
Yeah, he TikToked like 4 times.
Pretty much. He powerbombed Taya into the crowd. I actually recognized 2 of the dudes who were the Plants. I had seen them wrestle before, so that was a bit of a giveaway. I mean, I was impressed by the fact that he like easily huffed up Taya, like no problem, and just boom, and that's an impressive display of strength. But I don't know, it's a weird storyline from like people who should be better. I guess that's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
like Killer Cross is very good, Cage is fantastic, Johnny Impact is fantastic. Not a big fan of really any of his finishers, to be honest, but yeah. And Ty is also a great mind, and yeah, this is the weird thing with Impact Wrestling. It's run by, for the first time in its history, it's truly run by competent people, yet some of the hallmarks of just kind of repetitiveness, randomness, and not very well thought out things is still there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the company is legitimately cursed and diseased or something.
Yeah, it seems like they can't get it all together. It's very strange.
But here's hoping, because, I mean, if Impact can do good things, ROH can do good things, AEW can do things, I mean, suddenly wrestlers have a lot of places to go that is not WWE, and I would be incredibly in favor of that.
Yeah. Impact trivia for the day. Do you know who Jordan Grace is recently engaged to marry?
I had not heard this, so any guess I would have would be purely in the dark, so hit me.
Indeed.
What's the answer?
The answer would be the octopus, Jonathan Gresham.
Jonathan Gresham and her. She might actually be bigger than him.
She is 1 inch shorter, but weighs only 10 pounds less.
That's about what I would have guessed.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to Mr. Gresham and Ms. Grace. May you be happy, and damn, another one off my dream list.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyways, that is all for this week. I will have some more time for wrestling, it should be mentioned, because I at this point have given up on UFC. Like, completely and
Whoa.
entirely. I am.
Is it because they hired drug cheats?
I mean, that's one of the reasons. I am just tired of the absolute double standard and Dana White's just. I mean, I have always been tired of Dana White's bullshit, but we have reached the boiling point where I just cannot take it anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. Did you know that Jonathan Gresham also portrayed suicide?
I'm aware of that, yeah.
I was not aware of that. Did you know that the latest person to portray suicide was Caleb Connolly?
That I didn't know. All right, that's a new one.
It was 2017. So
best suicide is still T.J. Perkins.
Better than Christopher Daniels?
Not in the ring, but as a character, yes.
Better than Frankie Kazarian?
Yes. Because Kazarian literally did no character work. It was just, we don't have Christopher Daniels, Kazarian roughly fits into the suit.
No, that seems fair.
T.J. Perkins was the only one that really gave it any character to the character.
I can dig that.
So that would be my reasoning. I'm a bit of a T.J. Perkins mark. So anyways, next week, I think we'll just be covering NXT basically, and maybe ROH, maybe Impact.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I don't think there's anything in the way of pay-per-views to really go through.
Yeah, not much. I don't think. I don't think we're gonna have anything for New Japan until New Beginnings, which is early next month.
Right around my birthday.
Yeah, boy. All the other news that is news is that AEW had their big rally today. I didn't watch the video, but I do have a recap on a website. Essentially, so they've signed your boy Christopher Jericho, and there's some. I don't know if they've officially signed Neville, because that's never stated that he signed a contract. But he definitely was there, and he definitely got in Hangman's face, and Hangman definitely accepted whatever kind of, you won't fucking fight? Let's fucking fight. So that's kind of all there is to know, I guess.
I need a Neville Stephen Amell match at some point.
Red Arrow versus Black Arrow.
Well, it goes even further than that, because Neville was the tag team partner of Stephen Amell in his debut match against King Barrett and Stardust.
He shall be known as Knievel Knievel.
Also Cody Rhodes, big favor, sign Wade Barrett.
Yeah, that would be good.
We need some bad news. And that is all for today, so have a good one. And Byron, do you have anything to finish up with the people?
Fuck off!